What's going on, Mecha Army? Sananju. Sananju night. Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I am your half-alive host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. So, we know two things. One, it's Tuesday. Two, Restream sucks right now. Because there's no buffering when we go straight through to YouTube. But when we go through Restream, tons of problems. So, let's talk about that for just a few seconds. Just a few seconds. I don't want to spend a whole ton of time on it. So, I contacted Restream yesterday. Yesterday morning. And the only way you can contact them is through like a live chat situation. So did that. It took I think it was like 35 minutes to get a first response, and then an hour to get a second response from them. But then once that happened, everything kind of moved quickly. Evidently, they are having issues. And from what I was told, my issue was being escalated to their engineers. They said expect probably about a 48-hour turnaround time. So that would put us roughly at tomorrow morning to hear back from them. So hopefully I hear something back from them, and hopefully this damn thing gets fixed, because obviously it is not working the way it should be at this point, right? So until then, we'll go straight YouTube. All right, we'll go straight YouTube. We'll have the quality that you guys expect, and you know what? If worse comes to worse, I can just upload the stream to Facebook and on to Twitch at a later date. One of those things, right? Oh boy. So yeah, so I'm a little under the weather. Just a little bit. Feel better than yesterday, but not great still. So there's that, and but you know what? We're gonna power through it. We're gonna continue on. So, let's get the business out of the way first, shall we? Let's see. If you want to pick up one of these cool-ass Sananju t-shirts, you can do so on childofmecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You'll be transported to the store, where you'll find shirts and hats and bags and all sorts of other cool stuff. If you see any of the tools or things like that that we'll be working with tonight, you can hit them up in the Amazon link just below on YouTube. I'm getting ready to say YouTube and Twitch, but it's just YouTube tonight. So the only way you're watching right now is on YouTube. But if you're watching later, after I upload this, you can find it in the description on Twitch or that side on Facebook at a later date. And then, as always, if you need kits or paints or decals or anything like that, my good friends right down here, Pandemic Art. It's a pretty cool name, Pandemic Art. Pandemic Art. I get it. I get things. Pandemic Art. That is a cool name too. Excuse me, guys. It's going to be an ongoing theme, me coughing tonight. So yeah, so my good friends over here at USA Gundam Store, and if you missed last Friday's stream, we are partnering with them once again to bring you guys some ultra high quality water slide decals exclusive to USA Gundam Store, and very easy to get for those of you in the US and Canada. Available internationally though too, don't get me wrong. But I am designing them in such a way that they will be interchangeable with the High-Q decal system. We are also getting Cartograph, company in Italy, to print our decals for us. They are the same company that prints High-Q's decals, or at least used to print them. If you have any old sheets from High-Q, you'll see the Cartograph logo down in the lower right hand corner. Those are the fine folks that are printing ours as well. So you can accept the same high level quality silk screened pre-cut decals that you can expect with High-Q. Kurt Hill asks, any idea when the water slide decals will go on sale? No, not at this point. It's going to be a few months. We've got the, I've got a design. Obviously, that's kind of, been in some promo images and stuff like that. But finalizing those designs, a few tweaks here and there, size-wise and text and stuff like that. But it'll be a few months, and we'll keep you guys in the loop, definitely. Yeah, you can accept the you can expect like I said, the same quality, same design aesthetic, but these are all brand new decal designs. The one thing that I really like about High-Q designs is that number one, the quality, but number two, the really cool decal designs, with the slanted stripy stripe, in the boxes and things and brackets and all that. Those are cool designs, right? And so what I've done is kind of taken that aesthetic and kind of worked it, in my own way, right? Art Inc. by DB Donnie. Sorry, brother. Restream is just not doing it for us tonight, so had to pick one, and I just went with YouTube, man. It's where it's where the majority of people are. So sorry, brother. Hopefully the people on Twitch know as well. Hopefully they migrate over at some point. We'll see, right? Kurt, when is Australian GBWC? What is that, July? June, July, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. There's Soravan. Yeah, get the night off. Yeah, you do, buddy. Yeah, you do. Like I was telling these fine folks, Restream is just not working right now, so we're going to go strictly YouTube until I get a proper response from them, hopefully tomorrow. Kurt Hill says July 13th is the Australian GBWC. Okay, so let's see. What is it? It's almost April, right? So what you got? You got April, May, June, I think would be the maximum. It'll be close. Let's put it that way, Kurt. It'll be close, right? We'll hopefully have them out sooner than that, but it'll be in and around that time. So hopefully I'll get you some decals before that, though. Hopefully. So, oh man. Let's see. Forgotten String Z. He hasn't been here for a while. He's popping back in. Thank you for coming back, String. And he says, so what is the current project at the moment? I'm glad you asked. We're working on a Zaku 2, part of my entry for, there it is, GBWC 2019. So yeah, that's what we're working on, and I'll show you kind of everything here in a minute. Hey, there's Adam, USA Gundam Store. Adam, we were just talking about the decals and kind of reiterating the awesomeness of these decals that we're making. So yeah, so for those of you kind of joining in on the YouTube side of things, Restream is still taking a shit on us, and we're gonna go straight YouTube until I get a proper response from them. Hopefully I hear something back tomorrow morning, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what's going on, unfortunately. As you guys probably saw earlier, we tried to start the stream on all three, and it was tanking from the get-go. So it is what it is. It is what it is. So, all right. With that being said, let's get to work. Let's get to work. So we got some scribing to do tonight, guys. There she is. All right, cool deal. All right. So, woo, there we are. All right, let's kind of bring you guys up to speed with some of the stuff that I did over the weekend, because I took care of some structural things over the weekend, right? So push kind of all this crap to the side. Let's get a little zoomed out here, shall we? Man, my voice is just beautiful tonight, isn't it? All scraggly and phlegmy. Is that a word? Phlegmy? Sounds like, I don't know. Anyway, here is the leg as we have it right now. So, last time we were together, barring technical issues, we were working on this guy and trying to work on clearing this ankle area so this could be popped in, and filled this with epoxy putty, so that's all a solid just hunk of mass at this point, yeah. And so that's looking pretty good. The height is good, I think. I think I'll still put in kind of an auxiliary, kind of extra add-in little piece of armor right in there, just to kind of fill that gap a little bit, but nothing too crazy. We're going to keep it, you know, pretty plain Jane. And then what I went ahead and did was I removed the thruster bell units from you know, the 3 ports on the sides, and they're going to be replaced with these guys right here, and I kind of like this look even better. Now these are still obviously a work in progress, but something basically like that. These are vents from the Hayaku Shiki 1.0, which I had a scrap one over in the bin, right? And so I think these are going to look really, really good. All, you know, on all 3 sides. You know, 2 sides and the back and everything like that. That's going to look really, really good. I think that's the aesthetic that I really like. It's not like big, ugly thruster bells hanging off the sides and everything. It's sleek. It's good, right? So those are going to get, I still have some work to do on these, shaping and plating and stuff like that. So those are still a work in progress at this point, right? Now, moving to, you already saw we plugged that with epoxy putty, but moving up here to the top of the leg, we replaced the stock caps, these guys right here, with the Sinanju ball kind of joint hips, right? Because we're going to be using the Sinanju waist unit, right? We're going to be using this entire thing, so figured why not just use the ball units here. They fit in perfectly on the stock poly cap right here, but for those of you that are familiar in any way with the Zaku the Zaku 2.0. That's not good, is it? you guys. That's great. That's just my luck right there. Straight up and down. Oh. Oh, it can be fixed. It can be fixed. Not a big deal. It can be fixed. I'm not worried about it one iota. This can be fixed because it's right on the panel line, right? It snapped right on that panel line. Nah, not a big deal. Yeah, and you know what? And Sorvon says at least there's spares. There are spares. So I just have to be a little bit more careful with what I'm doing, right? So I have to be a little bit more gentle with these things. So anyway, whatever. One of the cool things about the Zaku 2 is that the inside here has a nice kind of big gap to it. And now I'm trying to be extra careful here so I don't break anything else, right? Astrid Kai, first restream and now the Zaku. Are you kidding me? Yeah, dude. I can't win or lose right now, dude. It's not fun. And I'm sick. So, triple trouble? Yeah. Alright. Let's just do this. I'm just trying to get the damn front off here. That's realistically all I'm trying to do, so I can show you the inside of this thing. There she goes. All right. Anyway, now that side, now these back pieces are coming off. There we go. All right. So if we pull back the hydraulic piston right here, you can see that this Zaku 2 leg has this nice big gap in here, enough for a styrene tube that is the same diameter, has the same inner diameter as the outside diameter of the Sinanju peg. So once that gets popped into the thin little polycap here, it goes down into the styrene tube for added stability. So this thing doesn't wobble or anything. It's just rock solid in there. It's got movement, the whole 9 yards, as intended. So that is a good thing. Now, obviously, we had to file down a little bit of the piston and a little bit of that tube to make everything fit in here all nice and snug. But once that is on there, everything is good to go. So there's that. All right. So anyway, we need to work on the other upper leg here, and I want to try not to break this one, right? Spider2K2 James says best remedy for a cold Popeye spicy chicken with sweet heat sauce. Nice. Man, oh man. Kuko305, what's up, Tim and Chad? Watching while working on my build. Awesome, awesome. Oh man. Astria Kai, don't use hobby knife to separate parts. You mad? Maybe. I've used a hobby knife to separate parts for the longest time. It's not even a thing at this point. But what I think happened on the leg here is, obviously, let's get you guys zoomed in so you can see the devastation. It popped right there on the damn scribe line, right? Just trying to pull it off, and my thumb slipped and it popped, right? Now, it's also kind of on a inner seam here, right here, which creates a little bit of stress, because not only did I weaken that point with the scribe line, this part right here, because of these two ridges, is reinforced, so this isn't going to give all that much. So yeah, I mean, it really didn't have any other choice but to crack. So, there we are. You know, and like James and the other guys were saying, it's not a big deal. In the grand scheme of things, it is not a big deal whatsoever. I'm not concerned with it one iota. Because I've got extras. I've got this one that James Spider2K2 sent me. I've got one that Chris R sent me. I've got a stock still in the box Char Zaku. So, dude, we got plenty, man. Not worried one bit. Now, mind you, this was an utter kind of pain in the ass to scribe here. So we're gonna try to fix that. Who knows if it's gonna work or not, but we'll see, right? We'll give it a go. So let's do this. Let's get we're gonna get Tamiya extra thin here. The reason why I want to get extra thin is because I want this to weld properly, right? Plastic Magic is good. It's really good. But I feel that the Tamiya extra thin actually welds the plastic just a little bit better, and it's got more time to kind of, seep in and melt the plastic. So, one of those things, right? You broke it. Thank you, George, for reminding me I broke it. Yes, I did break it. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Dwidget. What's up, Dwidget? Yeah, Tim dropped a colony on Twitch. Yeah, I did. Man. So, let's take care of that real quick first. Now, a couple things that I'm going to do here is, and I'm grabbing some styrene strip here to help reinforce this bad boy. Let's go 1.5 millimeter. That's 1 millimeter. Yeah, we'll go with 1 millimeter. Screw it. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, we'll put a few of these down, and this will reinforce what we're about to do here momentarily. Now, what I've got going here is 1 millimeter by 1/4 millimeter. There we go. That'll be plenty. So 1 millimeter by 1/4 millimeter thick styrene sheet, right? What we're gonna do is, once I get this thing popped back together, go back in here on the inside. Now this is only, since this is only 1/4 millimeter thick, hopefully, I'll be able to just kind of laminate this in here across the break, and that will help reinforce that joint, that glue joint that we're going to be doing here. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we'll see, right? So, first things first, we're going to get a couple of these strips cut here. We're going about maybe 6-7 millimeters a piece. Doesn't have to be accurate or precise or anything like that. We'll get like 5 of them cut here, and that should hopefully do. There we go. All right. So we're going to slather this bad boy up here too. Just basically get this just saturated on the edge here with with glue, just to make sure that we've got a nice bond here, right? Now, this is going to seep into the panel lines. There's no getting around that, right? It's going to happen. So, I'm not going to worry about that because we can come back, clean those out. Okay. So there's the initial glue up here, right? So that looks decent at this point. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of backfill the back here and just make sure we've got proper coverage along the back. That's where the strength needs to be. All right, so while that's kind of sitting there starting to cure, we're going to put a slight curve into these little strips here because this seam is on a curve, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to lay this guy in here just like that, and he's going to grab on to that glue that's there, right? We'll come back and reinforce him here in just a second. Okay. Just getting these strips laid down here. Okay. And we want to be very, very delicate at this point because this thing is not glued at all. It's just basically hanging on by sheer willpower at this point. So if you can see, I'm just basically rolling this little, it's just like a skewer, bamboo skewer. I'm just rolling this back and forth just on that to kind of put a curve in it. Just like you did kind of, you know, when you were a kid wrapping presents with a ribbon and stuff, and you know, your mom pulled it on a pair of scissors or something like that. Same concept. We just want to put a slight curve into it, right? Okay. One more down here at the bottom. And it's just going to sit in there. All right. So now we flood these with more cement. Now basically what we're doing here is we are trying to simply reinforce and hold this piece together with these pieces of styrene. These will more than likely be need to be grinded out at a later date. Not a big deal. And as you can see, I'm just kind of flooding this area, this back side of this piece with Tamiya Extra Thin. Alright, so that's good to go. We will let this sit as is for a a good long while. But so far, that looks pretty good. Shape-wise, it's back to where it needs to be. Level surface, we're looking good. All right, so with that being said, we're going to put this over here. We'll refer back to that here in a little bit to replicate the panel lines and everything. But for right now, we're going to let it sit. We're just going to let it sit. Cullen Barr, so the pla is just for reinforcement. Yes, currently right now it's just to hold it in place. Now, the thing that... Christ, hopefully I don't break this one too. Well, there's no stress point on the back of this one like the other one. So we'll try to be as careful as possible. And it just popped off, that's good. Hopefully, if worst comes to worst, I can always grind out this area in here on the back of the inside to accommodate the reinforcement, right? But you know, that'll be a judgment call. That'll be kind of a game time decision, as they say, right? So we'll see. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Oh, man. Hey, Andrew's here. Hello, Andrew. He's awake. Twitch it. Nice. Yes, he is awake, isn't he? Radical Kaijin. Plot breakage is gone. Crab, crab, crab. Okay, that's funny, right? It's almost 11 at night here. Sheesh. Yeah, dude, it's almost 11 here. What are you complaining about? It's almost 11 every night that we do this. Killing me, dude. Killing me. Alright, so first things first, take off the knee armor. Now, in terms of replicating the panel lines here, the first one is always the easiest one to do, right? Julio Ponte, great save on the thigh, bro. Hey, thank you, man. We'll see, right? It's still touch and go at this point. We'll see. Not sure if it's going to fix it or not, but I don't know, man, right? Excuse me. Let's see. Bailey's here. What's up, B? Everybody's giving Andrew a hard time. With the spot weld, you should be good. Julio Ponte says, man, I hope so, dude. I hope so. Fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed. We'll see. But anyway, so duplicating these panel lines here with what I have, and let me get zoomed in, like super zoom, and I'll show you the panel lines with a little bit more detail here, shall we? Let's get that box pulled up there. 5x zoom. And here we are. All right, so woo. So what we have here, let's start at the bottom. Just a simple box scribe all the way up. We've got a couple, you know, little detail pieces here, cut in half, all that good stuff. Up here, a little bit more complicated. We used the pre-molded kind of upper flappy thing as a guide, and we just basically took a couple panel lines off those angles there, right? We've got some octagonal shapes going on around in here, and then we've got panel lines coming off the two corners there as well, right? Now on this side, this panel line dips down at a 45 roughly, and then goes over to meet up with this kind of pre-molded corner, and you've kind of got did a little box here around this little indented part. I'm gonna come back with a bigger chisel and chisel some notches into this, make it look like a true vent rather than just what it looks like now. On this side, though, this panel line goes straight back and wraps around the back piece, which broke. But then also down here, we've got a nice little outline scribe around the hole here where the power cable goes, and then we've got some extra box scribes around here, and I'll show you how to do that. That's actually, this little outline here, pretty damned easy. I'm going to show you how to do it here in just a little bit. But first, we need to start here. This is going to be your first step starting point of everything. This is going to be the basis of everything. So let's get out of super zoom real quick. Go back to 1. Get rid of the box. Switch back to there. All right. So, Alex the Doof, why is Tim holding a chopstick? Dude, it's not a chopstick. It's a bamboo skewer. Come on, man. It's a bamboo skewer. I don't do chopsticks, man. I don't know. I can't get chopsticks. It's something in the hands that I don't get it. I don't get it. Georgia says, nah, it's a fancy toothpick. I mean, pretty much, right? Yeah. Shit. Why do I even have the secondary chat open? I can just read it off the good old YouTube. Shit. Why not, right? Alex says, no Japan for you. That's what you think, buddy. Oh, man. Yes, the cutting mat is out. Good call. And then Bailey just posted the link to it. Excellent. Prerequisite for going to Japan. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's, they have forks in Japan. They have forks. They have plenty of forks in Japan. Cheers to forks. Oh, man. There we go. You know, they have the GamerBud says, you know, they have those large phones for older people. This is a large toothpick for old heads. Thanks. Oh, man. Alex the Duke, I'm going to slap you if you eat sushi with a fork. Man, come on, then. Because I do eat sushi with a fork, motherfucker. Oh, man. Oh, that's so funny. Yes, I eat sushi with a fork, and no, you can't shame me out of it. I have no shame, man. I have zero shame. All right, so. Julio Ponte, eat sushi with your hands, right? A little bit messier, but still. Send the link. The lonk. Nice. Gamer Butter. Alex, ding, ding, ding. But do you eat pizza with a knife and fork? No, I don't do that. Yeah, I mean, Andrew says, I've seen people eat sushi with their hands. Yeah, I mean, that's common practice for the most part, but I like to just saturate mine in soy sauce, so what are you gonna do? Kenneth Sim, get some hot lemon tea for cold relief. Dude, actually sounds pretty good right now. I'm an Advil cold and sinus guy, so that's starting to kick in. But we'll see, right? Julio Ponte. Wasabi. Yes. Dude, tons of wasabi. Yes. And just, if I may, just to deviate from the script for just a few seconds, wasabi will clear you up. Oh, dude, will it, man? Yes. Always, you can always judge a sushi place by their basic sushi rolls, right? My favorite is a spicy tuna roll. Plain and simple, right? Very basic, but that's my favorite. And you can always gauge the quality of a place's sushi on their very, very basic rolls. So they're like their California rolls, their you know, spicy tuna rolls, etc. You can always gauge it by those two rolls. So if you're trying, excuse me, if you're trying a sushi place for the first time, get a basic roll first. Judge it from that. If it's good, chances are the rest of it's good. No California rolls in Japan though. Yeah, I don't even like California rolls. I'm just saying that's like a basic roll right here in the States. You know what I mean? But like I said, if they're good, chances are the rest of it's going to be good. If it's bad, just cut and run. Just don't even bother. That's my experience anyways. Deep fried sushi is also American. Yeah, no, it is strictly American. Only an American would come up and think, hey, let's deep fry some sushi. Oh, like that accent, didn't you? Like straight country accent. Like, let's deep fry it. Come on. Granger category raw. What do we got here? What do we got here, Bailey? Let's look at this. What is this now? Plastic perforated sheets? Hello. This is interesting. Cool. I'll have to look at that later. Neat. Jeez. No rolls, only nigiri. Yeah, my wife would agree with you, Ruslan. My wife would agree with you. They got sushi burritos in New York. Dude, they have them down here too in the Baltimore area. We got a place that that sells, you know, like sushi burritos, and then they also have like sushi bowls too. So on point. Holy moly. Like, no lie, you guys. Like, you can get like the black crispy rice in these things. You can get like edamame if you want. I'm not really into that, but you can if you want to. Just all sorts of cool stuff in a bowl that you would normally get in a roll or a burrito in this case, at the place I'm talking about. But dude, sushi bowls, yes, so good, so good. Andrew's hungry now. Yeah, I had dinner before, so I'm not really hungry. I don't even really have an appetite right now anyways, because I'm sick. But whatever. Forgotten String Z, LOL Tim, are you secretly Southern? Because that was spot on from where I'm from. Right? No. So I did spend 2 years living in Alabama, unfortunately, before we kind of decided to move back home, our home. So yeah, and I'm, you know, accents are kind of a thing for me. Let's deep fry. Come on, y'all. It's gonna be good. Trust me. I know what I'm doing here. We're gonna fry some sushi. Those Japanese don't know what they're missing with this fried sushi. We're gonna deep fry it, and it's gonna be delicious. I don't know. Radical Kaijin. How was Alabama? No, dude. Don't move to Alabama. Holy shit. If you're from the Northeast, don't move to Alabama. Mind you, if that's, you know, if you're from the South or if you're from Alabama, dude, it's probably amazing. Don't get me wrong. But culturally, not my thing. Not my thing. It's just, you know, it's a different world down there, you guys. You know, from somebody like me who's grown up in Maryland, you know, just outside of Baltimore his whole life, moving down there, everything's slow, like super slow, right? Like up here in Maryland, like you get on 95, the main highway here, and the speed limit's 65. In some places it's 70. If you're not going 10 or 15 miles over the speed limit, you're getting passed. You know, I mean, that's just plain and simple. But you go down to, we went down there, and it's the exact opposite. Like, people are going 10 or 15 miles under the speed limit. Like, I'm not one to get road rage, but when we first moved down there and I'm driving around, I'm like, come on! It just is what it is, I guess, right? Cultural differences. Very, very nice people, though. That is the one thing that I will say about, you know, Southern U.S. people is that they are extremely, extremely nice. We're a bunch of assholes up here in the Northeast. That's just the way that it is. But in the South, how you doing? Come on in. Who's your team? Who's your driver? Come on. Let's go have some sweet tea. You know, that's kind of what we were met with, right? I'll never forget, like, the first day we moved into the house down there, a lady across the street baked muffins for us the next morning and just kind of came over at like 7:30 in the frickin' morning. We're still asleep, mind you, knocking on the door, and we're up, and, you know, we get up and we're just like, oh, hi, how you doing, you know, and everything. And she's just like, oh, hi, how you doing there? We just made you some muffins. You're just welcome to the neighborhood, right? And we're just like, what the hell is going on? Because we're not used to this shit, right? Like, you come knocking at our door up here and we're like, what the fuck you want, right? It's just really, it was a weird thing. It was culturally odd to us. But man, super nice people. Super nice people. Yeah, Southern hospitality at its best. Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah, see, Forgotten String Z, LOO, it's true. Maryland Northeast. Isn't it mid-Atlantic, barely out of the South, being right next to Virginia? Technically, we're Northeast. I mean, we're at the southern part of the Northeast, but yes, you could call us mid-Atlantic, Northeast, whatever. You know, is what it is. Bama food, though. Kenneth Sim, is it me or first time hearing Tim's girly voice? Oh, come on, baby, what you gonna do now? That's just not a nice thing to say. It's not respectable. That's like my southern, you know, southern grandma voice, man. I don't know. Because this lady that lived across the street, she was literally like a grandma. She was old as dirt, but she was super nice, right? Man, Mother Tim's fried chicken. Nice. I like that, Julio. I like that. Goro managed not to collapse from getting home from work to watch another stream. Jesus. Spire 2K2. Bless your heart. Yes. Yes. Bless your heart is Southern for go fuck yourself. It really is, actually. Like, so I work with a lady that is originally from Alabama, right? She does course development and stuff like that for you know, for our company. And yeah, she's from Alabama, Anniston to be exact. And yeah, I asked her one day, I'm like, so bless your heart, what's the secret meaning? And she says either legitimately, like, bless your heart, or go fuck yourself, in a nice way. I was blown away. I was just like, I thought that was like a myth, right? I thought that was like, you know, old wives' tale or something. But no, it's legit. It's legit. So I thought that was pretty damn funny. You know, little lady. Oh, well, bless your heart. Instead, they're just saying, well, just go fuck yourself. Like, what are you gonna do, right? Oh, man. Towards it. Yet when you hear them say bless your heart, you done goofed. Dude, right? Yeah. Yours says, I thought bless your heart translated to you poor dumb bastard. I mean, probably, right? Yeah, probably. Forgotten String Z. Tim sounds like he drinks yee juice. Okay, you lost me there, String. I don't know what yee juice is. I never heard that one before. Depends on the all proceeding. That's true. That's true, Ricky Paul Carlson. Yes. If it's oh bless your heart, that's legit. Like they feel sorry for you, right? But if it's like oh well bless your heart, no, that means fuck you. That means fuck you. Oh man. Yeah. The tone of the awe before bless your heart, that's when you know if you fucked up or not. Legit. So anyway, welcome to the Chod of Mecha language class. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. Cheers. Kurt Hill. See, that's the thing, and what's funny is like Kurt is from Australia, right? And he's probably like, fucking Americans. You're like, what the hell's wrong with these guys, right? So, dude, I'm sure they've got some crazy shit down in Aussie land, so I'm sure it's something similar, right? He says, guess our slang is just as strange to you over there in the US. Yeah, I mean, it can be, right? Right. It's all geographical, cultural isms, right? It's all it boils down to. And it's all just fun with it, right? Like every place has something, right? Let's go back to one camera because I'm having fun kind of just spouting off about this, right? So back in a previous career, I used to work for Edie's Grand Ice Cream here in the States. That's the East Coast name. On the West Coast, it's Dreyer's Grand Ice Cream. Not sure why the two names are different, but anyway, this was back years and years ago. So the interesting thing, much like local colloquialisms, accents and things like that, right? Like flavors of ice cream were very geographical based. So like in the South, butter pecan, #1 seller. #1 seller. In like the West Coast and Northwest and Northeast, nah. It was like 3rd, 4th, 5th, trailing down the line. Like Northeast, vanilla, like vanilla bean. That was like #1, right? West Coast, I think it was something crazy like rum raisin or some shit like that, right? We were like, what the fuck is rum raisin? We don't even carry it here on the East Coast. Like, what is this? But then, like, you go to the Northwest, and it's something completely different, like cookies and cream or cookie dough or something like that, right? I know this is a tangent. You guys wanted to see scribing and shit, but hey. It's par for the course. Plus, I'm sick. Whatever. And the leg thing broke, so I'm a little, like, about that. Anyway. Pecan. Yes. So, pecan is a southern saying. Pecan is more of a northeast, mid-Atlantic, Bailey, pronunciation of pecan. But then, you go out west and it's pecan, not pecan. Butter pecan. Excuse me, sir, you got any butter pecan? Yeah, that's literally every day. Caramel or caramel, yes, thank you, Donnie. That is another one. Strawberry, or like some people will say strawberry. Like that's a super southern thing, strawberry. But yeah, it's just weird. Like every little geographical niche has those those sayings. Donnie says scrimps. Yes, that's big up here. Why do people say scrimps? Give me some scrimps. Uh-oh, Dean's here. Tim, you better work. Dude, Dino, you missed it, buddy. So, I'm a little kind of like off my game. Number one, I'm sick. Deal with it. Number two, we broke a piece tonight. Rest in peace. So let's show Dean real quick. That's actually holding up pretty good. Let's go back to here. So, Dean, we broke this piece. So, I'm pulling it off. I'm pulling it off the back piece here, right? And I have it like this, and it pops off, and it just snaps right in my finger. So, we kind of started to glue it up here. Feels pretty solid right now, but I still don't want to dick around with it, right? Still don't want to dick around with it. But anyway. Chart Twins, what brand of chisel do you use again? I use the good old BMC chisels. It's just what I use. You can use Madworks, you can use BMCs, there's a bunch of other kinds of chisels out there. Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. I am just invested in BMCs. So I'm trapped in that that ecosphere, if you will. So yeah. Oh man. Band-Aids. Yeah. Rushlime, everything is Coke. What kind of Coke you want? Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper. Yeah, dude. And that's another big one. Pop, soda, Coke in some places. Yeah, it's a big one. Kurt Hill says, I got caught out when I was in Disneyland in the U.S. My shoes got wet from a ride and went around some of the stores to see if they had thongs. Yeah, dude, you call them thongs, we call them flip-flops here. LOL, got the weirdest look from the girls. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can understand why, dude. I can understand why. Oh, man. My nose is starting to run, you guys. Adam's going to bed. Night, buddy. Thanks for watching, Adam. Good man there. Man, look at the love Adam's getting. That's good. I like it. Click on my link, Dean says. I didn't see it, Dean. Let me scroll back up here, buddy. Am I missing something? Dean, I don't see it, man. Yeah. Dina, I don't see it, man. Repost it, dude. Cool, I'll share it again. Sweet. Hooler says, when I first started buying kits, Heavy USA Gundam Store hooked me up. Yeah. Mad love for Adam. Definitely. Radical Kaijin. A good Texas standoff is when you open the door for someone, but they tell you you can go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. I get that all the time. Like, I'm, like, I guess too nice, and I hold the door for, like, everybody. And then you get this, like, flood of people. Like, 20 people come out, right? Dean, I don't likely auto-delete or put a space after the period. Yeah. Dean, it didn't come through, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm looking in, like, at the actual YouTube chat, but yeah, yours says likely auto-deleted, put a space after the period to make it look like a sentence and not a hyperlink. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, everybody's not seeing it, Dean. Sorry, brother. Ruslan, a pop is a sucker. A soda is an ingredient for baking. A Coke is a carbonated beverage. So there, yeah. Oh, it's so funny. All these different. Chris R. Tim, I hear it's official about you and Sabo. I hope. Yeah. So I got in touch with Corey. Yesterday? Just to see if we could lock it in, and he said that yeah, I mean everything's a go, but nothing. I haven't seen like anything from him saying here we go, right? I'm hoping. Yeah, Dean, just send it. Shoot it to me in like on Facebook through my Facebook page or something like that, buddy. Cullen Barr, USA Gundam Store had me for life when I got a personal thank you from Adam after my second purchase was real nice. Nice. Yeah. Adam just does that, man. Just copy paste it. But yeah, but see, that's the thing, Dean. We're not even seeing it in the chat, buddy. So we can't copy and paste it. It's not showing up. The actual link is not showing up. So we're just seeing, I just send it and then just copy paste it. Tim, I bought a space bar. That's all I see. And then before that, I think you deserve it after what happened. All right. So I see like a scribble of number. I don't know. Dean, just message me, buddy. Just message me on like Facebook or something. That's the easiest thing to do at this point because it's not coming through. That's the code. Oh, for, I guess, YouTube. Let's take a look. Oh my God. Oh boy. All right, so let's take a look and see what is Dean giving us here. Paste and go. Ah, shit, go back. Paste. Now we go. What do we got here? Long oof 2. Oh, see, I can't hear it because my speakers are turned way down. I'll check it later, dude. Don't worry about it. Man, oh man. Yeah, Freddie, what's up? Streaming on a Tuesday is throwing me off, man. You're not the only one, dude. Like, shit's like crazy right now. I'm sick. Restream sucks. I broke a part. Just, man, today's just not going my way. It is what it is. James Cody, God bless. Well, bless your heart. And I mean that in the nicest way. Dean says, guys, you guys should listen to it and then come back. Ruslam says, Dean, you're the only reason he's not gluing plastic right now. Nah. Tetsugen George says, Restream made you break the part. No, man, it's just bad luck, man. It's just bad luck, right? Evil Homer NZ, any chance we could like see some build? Not that your voice isn't amazing, but we're watching a stream, limited time to scope this during work. True, that's a very valid point. That is a very valid point. And I agree. We should definitely get some work done, especially since Dean is here, right? Dean is our whip kind of cracker, if you will. So let's do that. Let's actually get some work done. Sorry for the sidebars, you guys, but one of those things. All right, so there's the piece that we're trying to replicate. Now, when you scribe the first piece, it's always going to be easier because it's original, right? You don't have to, you're not duplicating it, so you don't have any tolerances to adhere to, right? Now, when you do go to duplicate it, that's going to be hard. That's always the hardest part. Now, since this is a fully curved surface, compound curves everywhere, curves going this way, curves going this way, everywhere, it escalates the difficulty that much more. So, what we need to do is we need to use this piece as our guide, and then basically transfer measurements from this piece over to this piece, scribe accordingly. So, first things first, let's get some housekeeping done real quick. Let's pull the chopper in because we're definitely going to need the chopper for accurate cuts on this. While I've got some pre-cut tape already done from the previous scribing job, we do need a piece for the front part of the leg. So we're just going to pop that, and there's our initial working strip. While I get the chopper out of the way here. Get over there. Ay. All right, so we're going to bend the leg back. Now, what we need to do is we need to find how far this goes up to that horizontal line. So we're going to measure from this point right here, this inner edge right there. So that looks to be about 18 millimeter, give or take, right? 18 millimeter. So what we need to do is remove this part very carefully. I don't want to break it. So I haven't peeled the backing off just yet, right? So we're going to just kind of lay it on here real quick and just kind of get a feel for where that 18 mil lines up, right? Right about there. Right about there. All right, so we're going to take our pencil, just lightly mark right there, and then we'll double check the middle here as well. And that's dead on 18 millimeter. Cool. So now we need to lay this piece of tape down. Now, since this is curved this way more, what we need to do is we need to take this tape, which curves in the opposite direction, and we need to put a curve on it lengthwise. So this is just a jeweler's file I have. We're going to use the handle on it, and we're just going to kind of crease in a slight curve on this thing. So there we go. So now, once we lay this down, hopefully it will conform a little bit better and seal onto all of the surface, or as much as surface as possible. All right, so let's get our eyes on here, just like that. Ay. And let's get the backing peeled off of this guy here. All right, so this first piece is very, very crucial. You need to eyeball it because you're not going to get any sort of apparatus on here to find a straight vertical line. You gotta eyeball it, and you've gotta try to do as good a job as possible here. Luckily, there's a little bit of space on either side here. Whoops, let's get it in camera. There's a little bit of space on either side which will help you line this up a little bit. And also, since it's curved, that will help a great deal as well. And there's going to be some adjusting, so don't try to lay it down exactly the first time, Okay. I can see that's a little high. It's a little high compared to the other one, so we're going to bring it down about 1 millimeter or so. That height-wise is looking pretty good, right? So I'm just basically lining up the tops here as much as possible, and then looking and seeing where that tape line falls. We can actually pull this down even just a little bit more. Right about there. And it's crucial to take your time on this first piece, because this first piece lays the basis for everything. This one's important. And especially since we're eyeballing this one, it just makes it even more important just to kind of take your time with this. Everything else kind of falls into place. There's a system for everything else. Right now it's just a tad bit low. So right about there, I think, is going to be our sweet spot. Yeah, that looks pretty damn good. Actually, we can bring it up just maybe a 1/2 mil. Right about there, maybe. There we go. That's what we like. All right, so what you want to do now, make sure there is even spacing on either side of the tape here between the gap right here, right? So even spacing on here, even spacing on here, and it looks like we're pretty much right there in the money, so we're good. Now we get our ruler and we kind of take some measurements to certain points to make sure that we're square, or as square as possible. So from corner to that inside corner is 1 centimeter, 10 millimeters, right? From this corner to there looks to be also 10 millimeters. So that looks pretty damn good. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty centered to me. I am lining this up. There's a little, just a little sliver of space between the ruler and that upper, this upper flap thing on the top of the thigh. And same thing over here. There's just a little bit of space. So we're pretty much as good as we're going to get it at this point, right? So now we start to lay this down. And we'll put this back on the piece for stability and safety. You don't want to break the damn thing, like I did. So now that first box that we're going to make, this inner part right here, that's now going to look really, really good. So I like to start on the long sides first here. Just real quick, nice light scribes. Letting the chisel do the work for you on the first few passes, right? Now, if you guys missed the scribing that we did on the Gesta, which is a while ago, granted, right? One of the things that you want to keep a watch for are these little kind of pigtail pieces of plastic, and it may be damn near impossible to see these things. Actually, there's one right there. And you can barely even see it on camera, but it's right there. I'm pointing to it with my chisel. And it's just like a little swirly piece of, plastic. And if you see that, if you see these little swirly-doos coming off like that, that's when you know you've got a pretty good line going, because that scriber is scraping just a long, thin, solid piece of plastic out of there, and that's what you want to get at. So we're going to stop there for right now. We're going to switch over to the other side. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to just nice light strokes in the beginning. And since I'm right-handed, I'll flip this back around and come at it from the other side. All right, so that looks pretty damn good. Excuse me. All right. Now, when you get to your corners are going to be, honestly, your most important part of a scribing job. Because so many times when people start to scribe, or they start to learn how to do it, or they attempt it, they always have problems in the corners. Either they get blowout, or it's not square, or it's just generally ugly, right? So corners are going to be your most crucial parts. That's what's going to make a clean scribing job. So what I do is I just kind of sneak up on the corner just a bit by bit, right? And you ever slightly just go past the tape, just a bit, just enough for that horizontal scribe to catch at the end, right? So this line right here is just above, let's see, is just above this piece of tape. So now what I can do is I can lightly scribe across it, and it will catch right there in that perpendicular line. And again, let the scriber do the work. Now, it seems like we're going across the grain here, because you're starting to hear, I don't know if it's translating to the camera or not, but there's a stutter, and you can hear it, a kind of noise coming from it, and you can even see it if you get really close in on this. If you go back the other way, chances are that'll thin out and you'll be good to go, right? And then you just take extra care in squaring up those corners. And momentarily we will have a simple box scribe. Okay. And there we go. First piece of the puzzle. Right? There she is. Looks good. Now we need to attack this kind of weird octagonal shape up there at the top. Now, to do that, though, there's a few things that we have to do first. So if we look at this piece here, and let's get, Flusspick says, how many passes do you usually do per line? That's a good question. it's really, you know, I find that it's really kind of done by feel. Usually, you know, 3 or 4 very light passes, and then maybe 2 or 3 kind of, you know, passes with a little bit more pressure, just to deepen it, right? Bailey says 10 in one, 5 in the other. I guess I missed something. I don't know. Oh man. Hey, James, no Zaku boys with us. What's going on, James? All right, let's get back over here so I can see what the hell I'm doing. All right, so now that we've got this first box done, there are some features on this piece that we need to take into consideration. These corner pieces here, and it's right there, these angled pieces right here in the corners, those are 1 millimeter above this line. So if you cut a 1 millimeter strip like this, excuse me, and you lay it down, right across the top of your previous box scribe like this, now it's easy to determine where that upper corner is located. So this corner right up here. Now you've located this basically. That's the height that it needs to be at. Now, beyond that, I need to make sure that sticks too. Beyond that, we need to find, excuse me, the height of this. Let's see if we can get that. We need to find the height of this straight line here. So, again, using your ruler, measure it up. That is 4 millimeters. 4 millimeters. Okay? So it's 4.5. Was this 4.5? Yeah, 4.5. Sorry. So 4.5 up from that 1 millimeter, we can now find our top points for those straight lines. And I'll show you here in just a second what I mean. Alright, so basically what I do is, and this is already cut to the width, it is nice. So using this will be our determiner for our straight lines all the way across here. So what we're going to do is we are going to center this up as best we can initially, just like that. Now we'll measure off 1.5 there. 1.5 there. So that is now centered quite well. So now what we've got on this thing, now what we can do is we can scribe this edge here, and that will perfectly mimic these two straight lines on this thing, right? Now, again, measure twice, cut once. Actually, this needs to go over a little bit. These measurements are absolutely crucial. I think I just popped it over too much here. Okay. Let's see. It should be roughly 1.5. Looks good there. 1.5. Looks good there, 1.5. All right, so now we've got this piece centered and looking pretty good. So now what we can also do is we can measure the horizontal. This side needs to go up just a bit, just a hair. Perfect. All right, so we're going to leave that like that, right? We're going to get 2 more little strips here. Because what we're going to do first is we are going to scribe in our diagonals here. And as you can see, those now perfectly line up with that straight piece, right? So we're going to pop this out like this. What's up, Ricardo? Silver Maverick is here with us, everybody. All right, so what we do is we use this, we're using this angle here as a determining line, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to come on the inside of that, and we're going to line that up ever so carefully with that line here. And then that should, depending on if we place the tape correctly, should line up perfectly with our piece underneath here. It's just a little slightly off from what I'm seeing right now. There we go. That's what we want to see. Right there. Okay, so now what we can do is we can start to scribe this diagonal here. Okay, just real light passes. That lines up perfectly with that box corner. And then now we can connect the two. And now that lines up really, really nice. And now we'll do the same thing to the other side real quick. About there. Okay. And we'll get this connected here. Okay, so now we pull the whole thing off. And as you can see, we've got, let's see if we can catch the, we've got that starting point to those tops, right? So now all we have to really do is connect these 2 points, this corner and this end point for these lines, and then we've got kind of our octagonal shape here. So just going to use one of the pieces of tape that we just peeled off, just as a really quick, simple guide. I'm going to line these two up, and if our calculations and placement were correct, these should be nearly identical to one another once everything is said and done. Okay. Again, placement and patience in scribing are absolutely crucial. Sorry if my head's getting in the way. Okay. Whew. So now, let's see if we can get a little sandpaper going so you guys can see a little bit more ease how this looks. Get some dust in the lines, and then it will contrast real nicely. So there you can see how we just went ahead and duplicated that top part. Yeah? Pretty good, pretty on point. Good duplication. All the way around. Excellent. Excellent stuff. All right, so let's real quick, I want to show you, because time's starting to run out on us here, but I want to show you how to, I want to show you how to do the outline of the power cable thing here. Hang on. Is this the right one? That's not the right one. Okay, so, it's a different shape. Okay, not a problem though. So we'll get the original piece here. There we go. Pop that on there. Okay, so now we've got this gap here, this hole that the power cable goes into, right? We want to be able to scribe an outline around that. So what I did, and this kind of, it's just real simple, it's made a plug that slots perfectly in that space, and it's, when this is squeezed together like this with a little bit of tension, this thing does not move whatsoever. I marked the top to make sure that there's no weirdness going on, but what happens, this is just a piece of 1/2 millimeter sheet, 2 pieces actually, and you've got the little plug right there that basically plugs into this hole, and then you've got the piece that goes over top of it, which is your template, which is actually what you use to scribe, right? So pop that in there. What I like to do is use a little bit of tape, so I'm not constantly kind of mashing this thing together, right? A little bit of tape, put some tension on it, just like that. Okay, so now I don't have to squeeze that with my hands here. I can just kind of let that be, and then this will ever so carefully just pop right into that gap. And now, as you can see, it doesn't move horizontally, vertically, any which way. It obviously pops out, but it doesn't move. That's the big thing. It doesn't move, right? So what we're going to do is we're basically just going to scribe the outline of this thing. We're just going to go right around this and just scribe that. Again, watch your corners, because those are absolutely crucial to a nice clean scribing job. And then be careful right where the seam is. You want to make sure your lines match up perfectly. And just go right around this thing. Okay. Almost done. All right. So now we can take a look at this thing. Let's pop the tape off here. And we'll sand this thing up so you can kind of get a better idea of what we did here as well. Okay. So there we go. There's your outline. It's very subtle, very, very thin around, maybe a ½ millimeter outside of the actual hole there for the power cable. But it makes scribing around that insanely easy. Insanely easy. Let's get in super zoomed, and I'll show you what that looks like here. Let's get that right there in the box. Just perfect like that. And boom. And there you have it. Nice, crisp, and clean all the way around. Right? Looks pretty good. Excuse me. But that is kind of how I do scribe around these holes. Now, things to keep in mind: this is not a perfect oval. This gap for the for this power cable, right down here in this corner, you can see it's a little more square down in this corner, and it's a little flatter down here as opposed to up here. It's very circular up here. So this is not a perfect oval in any sense of the imagination. So what we've got here is probably the best case scenario for this type of thing. You know, you look at the other original piece here, and we'll move that out of the way, and you can kind of see the same effect that we're going with here too. So yeah, that, I think, looks pretty damn good, right? I like it. I like it. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Cheers, you guys. Man, oh man. Can't wait to get better. This shit sucks. Anyway, let's check up with the chat. Giant Mega Robot is here, you guys. Dude, so Mega's got this thing where he wakes up at like an ungodly amount of time, like super butt crack early. And I was lucky enough to catch one of these the other day when I was, for some reason, up at like before dawn. And I'll tell you what, man. Quality live stream over there on Instagram, you guys. Check out what Giant Mega Robot's doing, because he, very, very talented guy. Very, very talented guy. Mr. Roboto, who he often streams with, is very, very talented as well. So go check both of those guys out, man. Just insane amount of work goes into both of their pieces. Really, really good stuff. Char Twins, Cap That Chisel. Yeah. You know what? Here I am, chisel discipline guy, and I'm not exhibiting chisel discipline, am I? Shit, look at me. My life has gone to hell here. Oh man. Julie Stemsky, great tips and techniques tonight. I'm gonna bookmark this episode. Ah, cool. Thank you, Julius. Appreciate that, buddy. Bailey says, yeah, Tim's vids are unmatched in terms of precision scribing techniques. Aw, thanks, B. Appreciate that. Very nice of you to say. Let's see. Floss Pick, gonna go make dinner. I'll catch you guys later. Floss Pick, thank you, buddy, for watching. Appreciate that. James Cody says, so many tips for a noob like me. That's what we do these things for, brother. Is this a 1.0 or 2.0? 2.0 Zaku, Johnny Ridden. Yeah, there, Kenneth Sims got it. And then Bailey says it's primarily a J Ridden Hymo, but he has other ones mixed in because they are interchangeable for the most part. True, true. Forgotten String. For some reason, I thought it was a 1.0 due to how stubby looking it looked. It's not going to look stubby looking much longer, man, because we are getting some Sinanju Stein pieces mixed into this puppy, and it's going to look real nice, real aggressive, real cool. Too bad this thing's going to get cut in half. One of those things, you know? Let's see. Mizzy's with us. He says, hey, all. I know I'm coming in at the end, but can't wait to check this out tomorrow on the way to work. Dude, don't watch this on the way to work, man. You're going to crash the car. Now, if you take the bus or train, then that's a different story. But safety, man. Safety. Oh, man. Dwidget says, all right, folks. I'm out for today. See you in 20 hours. Peace out, brother. Forgotten Strings E. Some Sinanju Stein, you say? Interesting. Yeah, dude. Sinanju Stein. Let's show the people the Sinanju Stein, shall we? Let's get out a super view or super zoom first, because you're not going to be able to see much in super zoom. Ka-ching. Let's get rid of the box. There we go. Get back to the normal screens. And so yeah, so we're using some Sinanju Stein parts for this bad boy, right? So we're using the foot, or the feet from the Sinanju Stein, and we're going to plug them in just like that. Yeah. That is a good look, you guys. I don't care what anybody says. It's better than the toddler shoes. You know what I mean? It's so much better than the toddler shoes. Like, I mean, these are classic, don't get me wrong, but, I mean, they look like little kids' shoes. They look like baby shoes, right? I can't do that. I can't do that. Especially with the crazy angles going on here with the high mobility armor and everything like that. I could not leave those feet there. So, swapping them out with kind of nice pointy Sinanju Stein feet is a definite. And then on top of that, obviously we are going to be using the waist here as well, so it's gonna look similar to that. Now the reason why I'm using the waist is because this back skirt armor, when it's on, it just makes this nice clean line right here with the high mobility armor. It just, you know, just straight diamond shape right there. It's such a good look, at least in my opinion, and that's what I really care about. So yeah, and it adds a little height to the Zaku too, and I just think, whoop, we're slipping. I just think it looks, it's going to look really good when it's all come together, when it's all painted kind of in the same color scheme. I just think it's going to be really cool. So yeah, we're going to use some Sinanju Stein parts with this guy. So, Julio Ponte, it's getting cut in half. Yeah, sort of. So basically what I'm thinking here, and let's switch back to one camera, because we're going to do a little talking and then we're going to kind of call it a night, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm beat to shit right now. So basically what's going to happen is there's going to be two mechs in this scene, and I don't necessarily want to call it a diorama, but for all intents and purposes it is. But Kenneth Tim is doing a battle scene diorama. Yeah, kinda. So what I have concocted here is this custom Zaku thing is basically fighting a tricked out hunter Gelgoog that is kit bashed with some Sazabi, kit bashed with some Sinanju Stein, kit bashed with some other parts and things from some other stuffs. But the Gelgoog is going to be the main focus. And what's going to happen is the Zaku is going to be wielding the Mohawk, right? And it's going to basically be swinging down on that, trying to, you know, swing down on that Hunter Gelgoog. But the Gelgoog is going to catch it mid, kind of mid, you know, mid-stroke, I guess, right? It's going to catch it on its forearm, and I'm going to have the hand of the Hunter Gelgoog kind of crushing in to the forearm of the Zaku. Still don't know how I'm going to accomplish that, but we'll get to that as we go along. But the Hunter Gelgoog is just going to have this kind of massive meat cleaver machete sword thing, and just kind of cutting in from the side. So that's the vision. That's the vision. So I got my work cut out for me. So that's what we're working toward. Yeah. Brandon G. Now I can't unsee the baby shoes. See? It's the baby shoes, man. They're so cute. See, look. You know how some parents have their baby shoes, you know, their kids' baby shoes bronzed? I should have these bronzed, right? Come on, tell me that wouldn't be funny as shit. Anyway. Ruslam says, but the baby shoes worked so well with the bicycle helmet. Yeah, right? Good thing that bicycle helmet is gone. Whew, man, oh man. Anyway. Alright, guys. I'm beat. End of the night, end of the stream. I'm going to bed. So note for tomorrow. Tomorrow's stream will be pushed back to Thursday. I got my daughter's orchestra recital tomorrow or whatever. And so I got to go to that. So I'm not going to be here. Fun times. So we're going to catch back up on Thursday. Okay? And then this Friday, going to be an all-new episode of Mechanism, and we're going to, you know, meet up with a bunch of builders, have fun. Hopefully Bailey will be on there again. It was fun having him on, and we're just going to have a kind of rip-roaring time. Hopefully I'll feel better by then, because this just sucks right now, and hopefully that piece will be nice and glued and solid too, hopefully. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know if it's a recital or, you know, a concert. I don't know what they call it. But she plays the violin, and I guess it's a concert. I don't know. Recital is, I guess, when you sing, right? I don't know these things. I really don't care. All I know is I have to show up and do that, you know? So, yeah, and hopefully Restream works by then as well. We'll see. Fingers crossed, you guys. Fingers crossed. All right, so, you guys, if you want one of these cool-ass Sinanju shirts, you know where to find it, www.childofmecha.com. Hit up the store button at the top. You'll find shirts, hats, bags, other cool stuff on there. Go get you some. If you're interested in some of the tools and stuff like that we worked with tonight, hit the link just below on YouTube, later on Twitch, that side later if you're watching on Facebook. And as always, if you need kits or paints or decals or other things, hit up my good friends right down here in the corner, Adam, and all those fine people at the USA Gundam store. Kenneth Sim says, will Tim do a compared on RP Cutter and Chopper? You know what? That's actually a good, real quick something to talk about, Kenneth, because, yeah, you know what? I used the RP Cutter for a little bit, and you know, it's got its pluses and minuses. It's got its pros and cons. If you live in the U.S., I don't necessarily see any advantage to it over the Chopper 2. Simply because there are some things that the Chopper 2 does a lot better. There are some things that are convenient on the RP Cutter, but I don't know if that convenience is worth the $30 extra that you need to pay for it. That's the thing. So the main thing, and let me cover this real quick before we go, you guys, because the main thing with the chopper is that the back rail here, this back rail that, you know, this backstop that you butt your plastic up against, that's static. That's molded into this thing. It's not moving at all. And this arm is 100% right at a 90-degree angle to that backstop, right? So that's not changing. Now, the one big drawback for the RP cutter is the two hinging wings, for lack of a better term. To get those both square at a 90-degree angle, you need to use like a ruler or something, because even if you put them at 0, it's not necessarily a perfect 0. You can have tolerance differences. So that's one part about the RP cutter that I do not like. I do not like the fact that there's some slop there, right? The chopper for 90-degree angles and stuff like that, much better, a much better, much more reliable piece. The other thing about the RP cutter is that the blades, as far as I know, you can't use like normal razor blades. You need to use their custom proprietary blades, which is an absolute shitter. Because I'd rather go to the hardware store, get a pack of 100 blades for like $5-10, be set for life. Where their blades, you need to have some sort of weird proprietary design for blades, which sucks. The one other downside of that is that the cutting mat within it, I don't think you can remove it. I think it's riveted in there. That's a big downer for me. Because with the cutter, with the chopper, you can take out the mat, you can turn it around, flip it up, flip it all over, smack it, flip it, rub it down. Oh no. But with the RP cutter, those wings are essentially, I think they're riveted on there. I'd have to take a look at it again. The one good thing, one of the big upsides to that is the wings that pivot. You can get, exact angles. With the chopper, you have to use these guides, and these are all the angles that you basically get at that point. So if you need a custom angle, you would have to use like a metal protractor or something, right? So yeah, in my opinion, Kenneth says pros and cons, not sure if worth the $120 imported. Yeah, no, pretty much. Yeah. For my money, I'd rather go with the chopper too. I mean, you're going to save money, you're going to get more reliability, you're going to get a little bit ease of use in terms of the cutting mat and everything that you can change up. I mean, hell, you can even cut an old cutting mat that you don't use anymore and pop a piece in there for Christ's sake. But with the RP cutter, you can't really do that. It's a finely crafted piece of tooling. That goes without saying. It's a finely crafted piece of tooling, and I respect that really a lot. I love the anodized look, all that good stuff. It's really nice. It's really nicely put together. But those cons, just for me, are not worth the extra money. That's just my 2 cents. Yeah. Now, if you live overseas and if you live like in Australia or someplace like that, and they're basically roughly the same price, it's a toss-up. Toss a coin at that point. But here in the U.S., yeah, I mean, I'd say stick with the chopper. That's my 2 cents. Hopefully that makes sense. We'll see, right? Sorban says, I just made custom guides for my chopper out of plot plate when I needed them. Yeah, you can do that too, right? Just take some thick 1 millimeter plastic, just cut it at the angle that you need it, and bada boom, bada bing, you got it, right? So that's actually a good call, Sorvon. Really good call. So, anyway, Julie Stemsky, good night, buddy. Thank you for watching again, man. So yeah, so there we go. All right, y'all. That does it for me. I'm out of here. I will see you guys on Thursday. Thursday, keep in mind, Thursday, not tomorrow, Thursday. And then we'll join back up here with a bunch of other people on Friday for a new episode of Mechanism. Cool deal. All right, guys. Take care. Be well. Hope I feel better. See you guys next time. Be safe out there, you guys. Build something cool.